Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. Solana seems to be still working on this smaller degree fourth wave rally that, it's been caught in all day today. Bitcoin as well, they're all caught in this potential wave 4. I think, the market isn't entirely sure if it wants to break out already because the movements have already been, quite substantial, or if another low is going to follow. At the moment, as long as the price hasn't formed a 5-wave move to the upside, and as long as the market is below resistance, I assume that another low is following. But at the same time, we've got the level that will tell us that something is changing on this chart, and then we will see if an impulse can form or not. If no impulse can form, lower prices overall still expected. Bear in mind that a break above resistance is really only the initial indication that things are changing on the chart. But we haven't even seen a break of resistance on the Solana chart. Solana yesterday touched finally this long-term support area. Not only that, it touched the support at the 23.6 Fibonacci level. It also reached the target at $80. Yeah, it was one of the targets. The white box was the initial target box for this third wave, but ideally, obviously, here in the region between $74 and $80, where I highlighted that $80 there is strong confluence between the 23.6 fib level of the support zone and the 1.236 extension, as well as the 100% extension, based on different waves here, measurements, of an A wave, and there was the wave 1 as well. So that gave us different Fibonacci extension levels. You might ask, why is that relevant? Well, there are different ways of calculating a target in such a corrective wave to the downside, and these are two, and one pointed to $80.09, the other one to $80.06, and that's pretty much where the price turned around. To be fair, it turned around exactly at the 23.6 Fibonacci level, a level that's been on the chart for more than 4 weeks, or round about 4 weeks. Okay, so that's all okay. We've had a bounce. The bounce was expected. Have to say though that another high could mean that we've got 5 waves up. Yeah, so this is still below resistance. It's all okay. No change at the moment. But at the moment, we have a 3-wave move up. One more high, and we could interpret it as a leading diagonal to the upside. That's not large enough to really confirm that something bullish is going on. It just means that we can then watch for a corrective pullback to follow. And if that's the case, we might see another leg up. And if that will take us above $93.50, we might have a more substantial low in place. But even then, out of that, a larger 5-wave move needs to form. And only when that larger 5-wave move is formed, and it should look like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we can talk about, okay, a larger low is in. Then after these 5 waves have formed, we are looking for a 3-wave pullback, A, B, C, and we have our next setup. And we can say, okay, it should go up from there. Until that's the case, what could form here is either just a corrective rally into resistance we break down. Even if a larger corrective rally forms, like that, for example, I don't know, like that, and we have an A wave, and we get a B wave down, and it forms a C wave, we have 3 waves up, it can still break down. So we need 5 waves up, very, very clearly. There are clear rules and guidelines how they need to look. But for now, we're still below resistance, and the rally is just simply corrective. So the 93.45 level, if that level is broken, we have a first indication that, that things are changing on this chart. And in terms of downside targets, the 1.618, 1.786, or 200% extension, that's sort of the next target level or range to the downside. After the third wave here of this C wave bottomed around the $80 level. So then we have this fourth now, and the 5th wave down should take us 2 steps lower on that fib scale. So we talk about $74, ideally even a little lower. And with that move then, we have basically a complete C wave. And that means we probably get a more substantial low in place there. Can I rule out that a low is in already? No, as I said, it can always break above resistance, but it's just at the moment without evidence, nothing that you could really, let's say, expect, at least based on the structure here, because it would have to be a W, X, Y structure instead of an A, B, C. Don't get me wrong, a W, X, Y is not unlikely. It's not, it's not too rare, but an ABC is still more common, and you cannot really forecast the WXY. I mean, after 3 waves, there can always be a rally, right? That's why I give you support. So we had strong confluence around the $80 mark, and anybody who wanted to prepare for that potential of a WXY, I mean, could have added the first small position. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's from an analysis point of view, everything's going according to plan at the moment. We had a move down to support, initial reaction, we're in resistance. Now we just need to watch if a resistance reaction forms here, and if the price pushes down further, that is where I think there's an increased likelihood that a low is in place. If that's the wave 4 or something different, we'll see, but it should be a more substantial low, where we could then see some kind of a rally. Whereas from here, it would need to prove it, okay? And the levels are very clear, the levels we can watch, 93.45. And then depending on how it breaks, if it is like a corrective break or an impulsive break, we can then make further calls about what the likely options are. But for now, not much happened since the last video. The market is holding within micro resistance, overall holding above support, which means that the larger bullish trend that started here last year when did it start? In June, I think, isn't it? No, it actually started already in December 22, okay? And then, yeah, we had another local low in June, but that basically stays intact as long as the larger support area there is holding at $47. Doesn't mean $47 is a target. No, it's only a support. What exactly the difference is, I've wrote a small article about that earlier today for channel members. So in very brief, a support area is just a level or a range that needs to hold to keep the larger uptrend alive. Whereas we can then, once we have more structure in the micro structure, once we have more waves available, we can define targets for example, the C wave down, as I did yesterday with that $80 level, and we've had a bounce there. Okay, that's my update about Solana. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.